Now to Southern California, where Lyle Menendez faces the parole board today, just one day after his brother Erik was denied release. A judge reduced their sentences, which made them both eligible for parole. The brothers were convicted of killing their parents in 1989, claiming years of abuse. Now, both in their 50s, they spent more than 30 years in prison. With us now for more insight is Michael Babcock from TMZ. Michael, welcome. It wasn't surprising to me anyway that Erik was denied parole. I suspect the same thing is going to happen for Lyle, but this isn't over with that, is it?
Hey, Sal, thanks so much for having me. No, look, I know the case has, for so long now, pretty much since the murders in 1989, they've obviously always been talked about as a unit, the Menendez brothers. But the reality is here, they're individual people, Sal, and because of that, they each get their opportunity to go before the parole board. Like you said, this is something that was not even a possibility a year ago because they were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. But a couple months ago, they get resentenced, 50 years to life with the possibility. And obviously, that's why they had the opportunity here on Thursday and Friday to make their case to the parole board. What it comes down to, for Erik at least, was that they felt like he was still a danger to society, that if he had been granted parole and he was to walk free outside those prison doors for the first time in almost 36 years, that he would still represent a threat to society, to the community. And because of that, I think, that is the ultimate bottom line reason why they were not released. Now, the parole board got into the crime and the grisly nature of the crime and how, when these murders happened, Sal, they were not in danger at that moment, for their lives. Their safety was not at risk in that moment, and that there were other things they could have done outside of killing their parents, even if Jose Menendez, the father, had actually been abusing the boys like has been alleged here.
Michael, I want to jump in here because no matter what the parole board does, this is ultimately going to be up to Gavin Newsom. He is going to make the final decision. And let's just say that they had granted the brothers parole. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. He could still deny it, especially coming up on these elections. It's just a political decision for him, right? But after the elections are over, do you think that would change their fortune?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. He obviously, clearly has designs on running for the presidency, and it's a polarizing issue. I know you guys did a poll on whether or not they should be released, and it's pretty much down the middle. It's a polarizing issue, and you've got strong feelings on both sides. So I don't know for a politician that it made much sense for him to step in. Now he has already gotten involved to some degree, but you're right to go against the parole board's decision here if they say, hey, no, both brothers not getting out. I would be absolutely floored if Gavin Newsom made that decision. I don't see it happening, but he could theoretically actually do that. So they could still be free here. If not, they'd have an opportunity in 3 years to go before the parole board once again. And perhaps at that point, something changes.
Michael, attitudes about sexual assault have changed over the years. This happened in 1989. Recently, there was a Netflix documentary. Kim Kardashian has come out and called for release after this new evidence came out of just how horrible the sexual, molestation was, to say. But does that really change anything in the mind, in your opinion, of the way the public feels about this?
You know what? I think, yes, I do. I really do. And I agree with you. The way we think about these cases has changed. And I think because of that, that's why they're here. I mean, you had two people who had, again, no prospects of getting out. And thanks to some of the alleged new evidence that has come out, and thanks to this publicity, to the Netflix show, I don't think without that program, the show on Netflix, I don't think they are where they are right now. And at least having the opportunity to potentially get out, even if it's not right now, which it looks like it won't be, sometime here in the near future. So I don't think you can overstate the value for the Menendez brothers that the added publicity has done for them. I think, again, I think it's almost entirely why they have gotten an opportunity to go before this parole board. Without the show, I think they're just sitting in the jail cell and they're rotting away there for the rest of their lives.
All right, Michael Babcock, we're going to have to leave it there. There's a lot of meat on that bone, and when it comes to this issue, we'll be watching TMZ. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thanks, Al.
And we've been asking you, do you think the Menendez brothers should be released from prison? You can still vote. Just scan that QR code at the top right of your screen or go to ktvu.com/vote. We're also going to cover this on Take Two.